In a bustling marketplace in Accra, there was a well-known shoe vendor named Nanaba, popularly called Mama Shoes by her customers. She was warm-hearted and well-loved, known for selling high-quality shoes at unbelievable low prices. People flocked to her store daily, leaving with smiles, grateful for their good bargains. Other shoe sellers in the market grumbled, puzzled by how Nanaba managed to sell at such low prices without going out of business. But she only laughed and continued with her trade as usual. What no one knew was that behind her friendly smile lay a dark secret. Her shoes were far from ordinary. One day a man named Kwame brought his pregnant wife, Abina, to Nanaba's shop. While they were selecting shoes, Abina saw a suspicious message on Kwame's phone from her best friend, Linda. Abina's anger fled. "I don't care what you say, Kwame. You have been lying to me," she snapped. Kwame ran a hand over his head in frustration. "Abina, can we not do this here? Let's just buy the shoes and go home." She scoffed and turned away. The shoe they had chosen sat on the counter forgotten. Sensing their disinterest, Nana Abba decided to use a trick to make them buy the shoes. Pretending to be on a phone call, she loudly announced that another customer was eager to purchase the same pair. Abina, now reconsidering, glanced at the shoes again. If someone else wanted them, maybe they were more valuable than she thought. With a sigh, she agreed to buy them. Kwame, still frustrated, pulled out his wallet and paid for both the shoes she picked and a pair for himself. Nana Abba smiled sweetly as she handed them the bag. "You have made the right choice, my children," she said warmly. The drive home was tense. Abina, still upset, stared out of the window, arms folded. Kwame, sensing her mood, remained silent. When they arrived home, Abina put a bag of shoes in her wardrobe and went to the kitchen to cook. Hours later, she suddenly heard a loud chilling scream from upstairs. Panicked, she rushed to the bedroom, only to find Kwame's fast asleep. Confused, she shook her head, convincing herself she must have imagined it. Later, when she served Kwame's dinner, he refused to eat, a shocking change in behavior. He had never refused her food before, not even after their worst argument. Hurt and confused, Abina sat alone at the dining table, a strange feeling settling over her. The next morning, she had a routine checkup at the hospital. Slipping on her new shoes, she left for the appointment. To her shock, the doctors discovered that her blood level had dropped dangerously low. Though she felt fine, they insisted on an emergency procedure to save her and the baby. Frightened, she called Kwame, but he didn't answer. After several attempts, she left the hospital worried about him, but nothing could have prepared her for what she found at home. Kwame in the arms of her best friend Linda. Abina stood frozen in shock. At that moment, she felt a warm liquid trickling down her legs. Her baby was slipping away. A sharp pain shot through her stomach and she collapsed. Kwame, startled, rushed to her side and quickly took her to the hospital. Hours later, Abina woke up to the devastating news. Her baby was gone. Sitting beside her were Kwame and Linda, but Kwame's face showed no remorse. "I'm tired of this marriage, Abina," he said coldly. "I love Linda and I want to be with her." Tears welled up in Abina's eyes. She searched Kwame's face for a hint of guilt, for any sign that he cared about what he had done, but all she saw was indifference. Linda, holding his hand, put on a fake look of sympathy. "I'm sorry, Abina," Linda whispered, but there was no sincerity in her voice. Heartbroken, Abina realized that everything she had built was gone: her marriage, her child, her happiness. Later, the doctor informed her that she needed someone to care for her. When she turned to Kwame, he scoffed. "I'll be busy. You can stay at home, but don't expect me to look after you." Abina lay there in pain, watching as he and Linda walked out of the hospital. Everything inside her shattered. With trembling hands, she made a call. She never thought she would. She died her stepmother. Despite their strained relationship, her stepmother, Mama Ese, rushed to the hospital and took Abina home. Unlike what Abina had always believed, Mama Ese was kind and nurturing. She cooked for her, bathed her, and comforted her in ways Abina never imagined. Slowly, Abina's strength returned, but deep inside, a fire burned. She was convinced that everything that had happened wasn't just bad luck. It felt like something more sinister was at play. She shared her thoughts with Mama Ese, who urged her to pray for answers. One day, while passing through the market with her stepmother, Abina's eyes widened in horror. She saw something others couldn't. Nana Abba's shop was surrounded by an array, shadowy figures luring customers inside. A chill ran down her spine. "Mama, do you see that?" she whispered. Mama Ese, confused, shook her head. "See what?" Abina's mind raced back to the day she and Kwame bought the shoes. That was when everything had started falling apart. Her hands trembled as realization dawned. Nana Abba wasn't just selling shoes. She was causing people's destinies. That night, Mama Ese took Abina to a pastor who confirmed her fears. The shoes were cursed, designed to destroy families and steal people's fortune. Every time Abina wore them, they drained her blessing and transferred them to Nana Abba. She was advised to burn the shoes while praying. As soon as she did, a blood-curdling scream filled the air. The shoes twisted unnaturally before being consumed by the flame. Meanwhile, at home, Kwame was having dinner with Linda when the curse was broken. Suddenly, his mind cleared. He turned to Linda confused. "What am I doing here? Where is my wife?" Linda's face paled. "What kind of question is that?" But Kwame was already dialing Abina's number, his hands shaking. Abina stared at her ringing phone in shock before answering. "Kwame." His voice trembled. "Abina, I don't know what happened. Please tell me, where are you?" Linda, realizing the spell has broken, panicked. "Kwame, you love me. We were happy together." Kwame shook his head. "No, I wasn't myself." Tears streamed down Linda's face. She had betrayed her best friend for nothing. Knowing she had lost, she packed her bags and left. Kwame, on the other hand, spent weeks trying to earn Abina's forgiveness. She still loved him, but she wasn't the same woman anymore. She set boundaries, making him prove his sincerity with actions, not just words. Lessons learned. Months passed and their bond grew stronger. They mourned their lost child together and began rebuilding their love. This story teaches us that not every gift is a blessing. Some things are too good to be true. It also reminds us to be spiritually aware as evil preys on ignorance. Most importantly, it highlights that forgiveness is powerful, but trust must be rebuilt with time Have you and ever seen or effort. experienced something similar? Share your thoughts and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on the latest updates and stories from Inside Stories and Home of Stories. We appreciate your efforts and can't wait to share more exciting tales